Hey, how's it going, you guys? So I'm gonna get right into it. We're gonna talk about Deiveson Figueiredo versus Joseph Benevidez. Interesting news that came out, very late in the week. Figueiredo did not make weight. So what is gonna happen? Pretty much, they're still gonna fight, and the belt's gonna be on the line only for Joseph Benevidez. Why is this the case? Well, you got to remember sometimes the events, like, they're put on, and there's a lot of advertising that goes on into the events. There's a lot of money that's put in behind the UFC, behind the marketing, behind ESPN, to try to get people to watch the show, watch the event, and it takes a lot of organization and a lot of organizing skills to be able to pull off a pay-per-view event, or just another card, to be able to have it in a city, and people to come out and watch and enjoy the fights. So pretty much the way it goes down, this is how it goes down. A fight's set up, and obviously two fighters are contracted to make weight, and leading up to the fight, the UFC is hoping and praying that these guys are going to make weight. And what happens sometimes is, something along the way happens to where it inhibits the fighter and the possibility to make weight, so they don't make weight. And obviously, the fans and the fighters, their peers, a lot of people throw a lot of hate, a lot of disrespect, a lot of just just negative bashing when it comes to people not making weight. And it's for a good reason, because you got to think about it. You're a professional in this day and age, and when you have a contract, you know what your weight's going to be, and you have a date, and you have time to be able to take care of that. But a lot of things happen along the way, injuries, sometimes, health issues. There's been a numerous amount of things that prevent people from making weight, from, health, conditions, or, even pregnancies with, like, Mackenzie Dern and stuff like that. But it's just the name of the game. People miss weight, and the UFC can't just all of a sudden be like, well, the guy missed weight, so let's just reschedule this fight for another. Sometimes that's just not the way things are, gonna happen. They just can't be like that. You gotta keep the, the division going. You have to keep, as they always say, the show must go on. And at this point, Deiveson did not make weight. Joseph, true professional like he always is, did make weight. So now he's going to get to fight for the flyweight belt, his second opportunity to fight for it. So I'm really stoked for him, because Joseph definitely deserves this opportunity. He's been knocking at the door for another title shot ever since he lost his rematch to Demetrius. And in that fight, you could tell that he was rushing. You could tell that he wanted to, make something happen. And when you look at it, sometimes in fighting, you really can't try to force things to happen. Either they're gonna happen, or they're not. That's why sometimes some fights are not as exciting. They're not interesting. They're not. Well, not to say not interesting, but they're just not, your fan favorite type of fights. Sometimes some fights don't end in knockouts or submissions, or they don't end early, or they're just not brawls. Sometimes you're gonna get some really technical fights that really just go up into a decision, and it could be a closer one than other people might think. Like this past weekend, we just had Paul Felder and Dan Hooker, and that was a really close fight. But yeah, in this fight, these guys are really closely, matched up. Obviously, Joseph is the favorite coming in. He's slightly favorite. He's almost 2-1. Deiveson, he's a beast. I was actually looking up to him, looking at him to possibly upset Joseph in this fight. But now seeing that his weight is heavy, I really can't side with him at this point. But to explain to you guys why he would not use the extra hour that he was given to try to cut those 2.5 pounds. So this is the way I see it. When a fighter doesn't make weight, they're struggling to not make weight. It's not like they're sitting still, and they're just gonna let themselves be overweight. No, they are attempting to make weight, but what happens is they run out of time. It's pretty much procrastination and leaving things to last minute. So pretty much what happened is, I feel that Deiveson saw that he wasn't going to make weight. He opted not to make weight, and the weight discrepancy is so big, it's at around 3 pounds. So that's why Joseph is going to get 30%. So Joseph was smart. If he loses the fight, he could always say, hey man, this guy outweighed me by 3, 5, 10 pounds by the time fight night comes. So I'm really not fighting a flyweight anymore. And you could tell when these guys square up against each other, Deiveson is a little bit bigger, and a weight advantage, it is an advantage, you know what I'm saying? So in this fight, I'm still gonna go with Joseph because I just feel like he's better prepared. His mind is probably a little bit more sound at this moment. I'm sure Deiveson has a lot of pressure on his shoulders now more than he had before. He had the pressure of trying to become one of the new champions in the UFC, but dude, it's gonna be a tough task when you obviously not in the peak form condition. So. It's I don't know. If he's gonna do it, if he's gonna take out Joseph, it's gonna be quick. It's gonna be either a submission or a knockout. I think Deiveson has really tremendous hands, and his knockout power is there. It's been evident. Joseph obviously knockout power, good hands. He's quick. I love how he's able to implement his game plan when he chooses to follow through with an action. If he's going to go for ground and pound, he's going to go for some vicious ground and pound. If he's going to go for a submission, he's going to go and squeeze until he can't squeeze no more. So this fight, I think it's going to be probably unanimous nod for Joseph Benevidez. That's how I see it going. But it's a really close fight. I kind of see it like as a pick'em fight, the top guys at the division. But yeah, that's the interesting news heading into this fight later today. I'm looking forward to it. I'm super thankful that I got the opportunity to meet Joseph, so I'm wishing him the best. And yeah, may the best man win. Enjoy the fights, guys.